While leaders across Europe are looking for clues as to what a second Trump presidency will mean for the war effort in Ukraine, my next guest says the relationship between the European Union and US will remain intact. Joining me now is the Foreign Minister of Estonia, Margus, Tsahkna, live from Cape Town in South Africa. Foreign Minister, great to have you back on the show. Let me pick up really with these concerning developments, I think it's fair to say, out of Ukraine. US official telling us that Russia is readying tens of thousands of troops, including some from North Korean troops, of course, we know on the ground, to launch an assault on Ukrainian forces in the coming days. What are you hearing about this plan?
Yes, indeed. It is obvious that Putin is using this opportunity when a new president is not in office yet and pushing the lines as far as possible. But also we have a new player here, and I think that we need to take it very seriously that North Korean troops are very close to Europe, actually in Europe, fighting on the ground. And this is a totally new situation. Though I think that if more and more different leaders of different governments are talking about the peace, though Putin is going to use and using actually this opportunity to push as heavily as possible. But I don't see any like the will of Putin to have actually the peace in the meaning of the just and the peace which is following the conditions which President Zelensky has put on the table.
So you don't believe he wants peace, he wants to go there. But let me just first on this push here, because we know that Ukrainian forces have held, and I think we've got the map, oh, there it is, to Kursk for some time, right, since the summer. We also heard President Zelensky today say that his troops were holding back a group of nearly 50,000 in the region. So my question is then, Foreign Minister, you know, what would you like to see in the months ahead from the Biden administration, who has got several months to try and push through aid, weaponry? There's long-range missiles, of course, that, you know, Ukraine and so many foreign ministers have been calling for on the show. Do you think now that the election is over, Foreign Minister, that President Biden may be more amenable to go ahead with that?
I think that President Biden has now the opportunity to prove actually that he's supporting Ukraine in all means, and also he has funds up to like $6 billion worth to give military support, constant military support, and also all the other allies should do the same, because Ukraine is fighting for us, and also we in Estonia saying that they are fighting instead of us. So the military support will be very important, and also taking down the restrictions of using the weapons from the long distance rockets and anything that Ukraine needs. So it assures as well that whatever,
Sorry, I was going to ask you, are you hearing any signs, Foreign Minister, that might go ahead, that green light may be lifted from the United States?
I do hope, but of course I'm not in a White House. Estonia has been very clear from the very first day that no limitations must be put on the military support to Ukraine, because Ukraine has all the rights to fight against Russia.
Let's look ahead, Foreign Minister, to January the 20th, of course, when President-elect Trump takes over the White House. You served as Minister of Defense, from what I understand, during the first term. I think that I've got that right. Can you give us a sense as to what your expectations are with the second Trump presidency, what that may mean for Ukraine? Any concerns from your end?
You're right, actually. I was serving as a Minister of Defense at the time when Trump entered first time in the cabinet. And also I remember the speculations that what will happen. But I'm now very honest that Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, our region got more troops on the ground. We got more military support, but without these U.S. elections, we are doing anything what we can to prepare for the probable invasion from Russia. So we are putting close to 4% of GDP to fulfill the NATO regional defense plans adopted already in Vilnius last year, the summit, the NATO summit. So what I'm thinking about what Donald Trump, what opportunity he has, actually, he has an opportunity to become our, how to say, the Churchill in our time. And I published as well an article that we are in the year 1938, when we can actually make the right decisions, we can understand, and we have this opportunity that Russia will remain a threat in the future. We must finish this aggression against Ukraine in a just and proper way. But also, we are talking more globally. We have many different conflicts in Middle East. We have a relations with China and tensions there, and also the one part of the Africa. So I think that U.S. leader who's entering the office must understand as well the responsibility he has.
Yeah.
And I think that there is an opportunity to become the Churchill in the meaning, as you understand, the background of the history years back.
And of course, you know this foreign minister, he said that he would end the war, I think he said in one day, he will set it in one day, but he hasn't provided any sort of details. What we have heard, and this is according, we have seen in the last few days to the Wall Street Journal, reporting from the Wall Street Journal, and I'm going to quote them there. One idea proposed inside Trump's transition office would involve Kyiv promising not to join NATO for at least 20 years. In exchange, the US would continue to pump Ukraine full of weapons to deter future Russian attack. Does this sound like the sort of peace plan that Ukraine wants, that NATO wants, that Europe wants?
To be honest, only Putin can finish this war within 48 hours, just withdrawing. Only he can do it. And all the other options are like dealing and bargaining. And also, we are a bit concerned about any deals without Ukraine and without Europe, because actually we are creating the new architecture for defense and security in our region. I do believe that the only security guarantee can be the membership of NATO, but also other options that one or the other country is giving real military security guarantees. It's an option, but I don't see it right now. But let's see what's happening in the future, because the deal, what so-called we made in Minsk years ago, it wasn't a deal in the meaning of long-lasting peace. We need to understand that Putin is pushing the lines. Any ceasefire is actually for him to prepare for the next aggression, and we need to learn from the history. It's not very far away, you know. We are talking about the year 2014.
Yeah, he's always been playing the long game, that is clear. And we shall touch base, Foreign Minister, in about 6 months to see if anything at all has changed. He's hoping. Foreign Minister, thank you very much, sir.